Good afternoon. I am Andrea Chisholm with the Midday News. A special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. 5 more cases of COVID-19 have been recorded in Jamaica following preliminary test results yesterday. Jamaica now has 15 cases of the coronavirus. A release from the Health Ministry said 2 of the cases resulted from contact tracing, with a confirmed case from the United Kingdom. 3 cases are new, including 2 from the Western region, 1 with a travel history to Trinidad and Tobago. The other case is an American child with a travel history that includes Miami, Florida. The 5th case is from Kingston with no travel history but had visitors from the United Kingdom. And there's a possibility that the Kingston 20 area in St. Andrew may be placed under quarantine. This following reports that a confirmed case of COVID-19 is from that area. In an interview on Primetime News last night, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton said a decision will be taken today following a risk assessment.
The team would go into the area. They would determine the extent to which that individual had interacted with persons, the number of persons, and then they would do interviews, as we have done. If persons are showing symptoms, multiple persons, then the possibility of community spread would be of concern to us, and then the appropriate actions would be taken.
Dr. Tufton said the patient was not linked to any previous confirmed cases. He explained that the patient recently traveled to Trinidad and Tobago to attend a carnival.
From the Kingston 20 area, who seem to have been outside of the country, Trinidad, I think it's Trinidad Carnival, developed some symptoms, went to the doctor, got medication, got worse, went back, and based on that return visit, was isolated, tested, and came back positive.
So has the process then started to trace the people with whom that person who came from Trinidad might have come in contact with?
Yes, that process has started. The health team have been in the area.
Some of the communities in the Kingston 20 area include Marvelay, Pembroke Hall, Patrick City, Duhaney Park and New Haven. In the meantime, Dr. Tufton said the ministry is expected to receive additional test kits soon.
I don't think the public should be concerned too much about the availability of kits because we're getting quite a bit more next week.
Meanwhile, there's a strong warning from the World Health Organization for more COVID-19 tests to be done. The directive came from the Director General of the WHO during a press briefing a few minutes ago.
But we have not seen an urgent enough escalation in testing, isolation and contact tracing, which is the backbone of the response. Social distancing measures can help to reduce transmission and enable health systems to cope. Hand washing and coughing into your elbow can reduce the risk for yourself and others. But on their own, they're not enough to extinguish this epidemic. It's the combination that makes the difference.
The WHO Director General says based on the lack of testing globally, the real numbers are not available.
You cannot fight a fire blindfolded, and we cannot stop this pandemic if we don't know who is infected. We have a simple message for all countries: test, test, test. Test every suspected case. If they test positive, isolate them and find out who they have been in close contact with up to 2 days before they developed symptoms, and test those people too.
And the death toll in Iran from COVID-19 has reached 853, with 129 new deaths in the past 24 hours. Meanwhile, 14,991 people have been infected in Iran. Officials have called on people to stay at home to contain the outbreak, and it's one of the deadliest outside of China. And as the spread of COVID-19 continues, health officials in the United States are warning Americans to adjust their social calendar and stay away from large crowds. We have details in this report.
The coronavirus still poses a serious threat to the United States.
As I've said many times, and I'll repeat it, The worst is yet ahead for us.
And that's why there's a push for social distancing. Schools in more than 30 states have shut their doors.
We've informed the superintendents while we've closed schools for 3 weeks that the odds are that, this is going to go on a lot longer.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends canceling or postponing events that have 50 or more people for the next 8 weeks. Large gatherings are banned in some states, including California and New York. While bars and restaurants in some states are closing early, Illinois is shutting them down completely to dine-in customers until the end of the month.
I tried earlier this week to appeal to everyone's good judgment to stay home, to avoid bars, not to congregate in crowds. It's unfortunate that many people didn't take that seriously.
President Trump says more testing will be available soon and that Americans shouldn't raid grocery store shelves.
You don't have to buy so much. Take it easy. Just relax.
Relax and stay away from large crowds for the time being.
It is how we respond to that challenge that's going to determine what the ultimate endpoint is going to be.
And it's time for a break here on the Midday News, but stay with us. We have more stories right after these messages. Welcome back, and we're continuing the news. PATH students are to receive nutritional support over the next 2 weeks since they will be out of school. The Education Ministry said under the Food Support Plan, Nutrition Products Limited will prepare snacks comprising baked products, fruit juices, milk and water. It says a limited number has been prepared for today while the distribution points are being finalized. Principals will be asked to suggest distribution points for schools. The ministry will also be collaborating with select food suppliers, supermarkets and other major areas to distribute food packages in communities. The list of distribution points will be announced via traditional and social media. In other news, Palace Resorts has scrapped its multi-billion dollar investment in Ocho St. Anne. The company outlined its position in a letter to the Urban Development Corporation, UDC.
The Mexican hotel chain made a deal with the Urban Development Corporation, UDC, for the purchase of 2 prime beachfront properties in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. The rooms on the beach properties adjacent to the recently refurbished Moon Palace Resort, which is owned by the Mexican investors. It was expected to create close to 3,000 jobs in the first construction phase. There was controversy surrounding the deal, with the former contractor general Dirk Harrison in a report indicating that the property was sold below market price, resulting in potential revenue losses. He said ministerial interference was at the heart of the deal. The Integrity Commission distanced itself from Mr. Harrison's report. Now, the investors have written to the UDC saying they're backing out of the deal. The company says it came to our attention, much to our displeasure, that our name and brand were the subject of political discussions inimical to our reputation, in which sufficient care had not been taken to ascertain all the facts surrounding our negotiations with the UDC. It also says we're careful at all times when we do business, both in our homeland country, Mexico, as in any other country we invest in, to comply with their laws and regulations and not to become involved directly or indirectly in the political process of those countries. The company adds that we seek to be good and considerate corporate citizens of every country in which we invest, and the adverse publicity both locally and internationally given to the acquisition of land and buildings by us from the UDC has caused us much discomfort and to seriously rethink whether or not Jamaica is a suitable place for us to make a substantial or indeed any further investments. Palace Resorts also adds that we hereby inform you that we will not be developing the Ocho Rios lands purchased from you, and that you should proceed to retransfer the said lands to yourselves as provided for in the sale agreement and repay to us the purchase price paid to you in accordance with the terms of the agreement. The deal was criticized by the opposition People's National Party, with some members calling for a forensic probe. Construction of the hotel would have started on April 30 this year.
Businessman and president of the New Kingston Citizens Association, Roger Chang, who was reported missing yesterday, has been found dead. His body was discovered about 11 o'clock along the border of Portland and St. Mary. Mr. Chang reportedly left his house yesterday for a waterfall in Portland. He was traveling with a woman. And in sports, even with uncertainty surrounding the staging of this year's Olympic Games in Japan due to the coronavirus outbreak, sprinter Kemar Bailey Cole is remaining focused on putting his career back on track. Beset by injuries for the last 3 seasons, Bailey Cole says he is finally getting back to full fitness. Jermaine Brown reports.
Between 2013 and 2016, Kemar Bailey Cole was among the very best sprinters in the world and was being earmarked as the next big sprint talent out of Jamaica. Among Bailey Cole's proudest moments was winning the Commonwealth Games 100-meter title in 2014 in Glasgow, Scotland. The former Old Harbour High star also placed fourth.
It's basically hamstring injury, leg after leg. Pull 2 times in the left leg, 1 time in the right. So yeah, I just been strengthening and doing lots more stuff that I never normally do. A lot more lactic workout, over distance work. Lots more over distance and sprinting.
Now 28 years old, Bailey Cole says he's taking things stage by stage.
Basically, it's just to make it through the finals, the rounds at trials, and hopefully make it to the Olympics in an individual spot. Well, the preparation is going very well. As I can see by the 400, it's been going very well. Coach Gregory Litter knows his thing, and I really have confidence in him because I've been working with him over a couple of years now, basically from my start of my career. So yeah, it's been going very well. A lot more to come.
Bailey Cole has a personal best of 9.92 for the 100 meters and 20.66 for the 200 meters. Jermaine Brown reporting for TVJ Sports.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Join us at 7 for the Primetime News Package. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, good afternoon.